If I was in those Mac versus PC commercials, I'd knock the out of the Mac guy.
Fragile. It must be Italian.
Everybody, welcome to this episode. Quick disclaimer, this is a rather long episode, and the reason why is because I wanted to show you as much real-time sort of interaction with the computer. This is a Mac versus PC type thing. It's basically why we left Mac. This is the reason why we left Mac, and if you multiply this on the number of jobs we do per week, the number of renders we do per day, it's a very simple cost analysis to say we can't stand Mac. So if you want to skip ahead, totally get it. The real render test is towards the end of the video, like 20 minutes. Yeah, it's long. But otherwise, here's the video. Just wanted you to see it. So obviously we know it's been a while since we put out any kind of video content on this YouTube channel. That's because we've been super busy, killing it. Jeff's killing it right now, aren't you, Jeff?
Absolutely.
See? So one of the things that's happened in the interim is I got so frustrated, I mean so frustrated, that I'm throwing that trash can, wherever the heck it is, over there. I'm throwing my Mac away, and I got so frustrated we're moving to PC, and it just showed up. So it's not just the fact that we're moving away from PC, it's that we're just moving away from Mac, I should say. It's the fact that PC for PC-wise, we feel like we're getting a better deal, and we're just, again, I'm tired of not being able to play back 4K 60 footage. We had a huge project, and it was super infuriating, but even then, what broke it for me was I had a very small project that I shot a lot of 60 on, and I had 22 revisions because I kept making mistakes from it just lagging, and I was just guesstimating. It's on me, and some of it's client, but so much brutal stuff that I just snapped. I did. And so what we have here is a brand new editing suite from Puget, whatever it is, Systems, and it is completely customized for Premiere Pro. So let's get to it. This is not an unboxing video because I only really like to watch the unboxings of MRE videos. Shout out to Steve, MRE video guy. So this is a Puget Systems, Puget, whatever you say. Before I get all the way into this, let me show you this real quick, because there's a whole process of when you build a machine with them. They kind of give you like step by step how it's done. They give you updates and all kinds of cool stuff. So let me check that out. Check it out. New shirt. I changed in between segments. No. So I kind of wanted to talk about the Puget build. Really easy process. Really easy to deal with. Super awesome customer service. Fantastic. They talked to me on the phone. They were everything that I could have ever asked for. In fact, in many ways, they kind of remind me of what it was like when I was using Apple, when I bought an Apple. It made me feel special. It made me feel unique. And I normally didn't have that with Windows before. I always felt like Windows was a big box scenario and Mac was this like, boutique sort of vibe. But Puget, you know what? Their build, they kind of went above and beyond. So you can go to their website, you can customize a build. Now, a lot of their PCs are built for specific needs. So you can kind of log in and see like, here's their Premiere version, here's their DaVinci machine, here's their massive workstation. And it's very easy to spend a ton of money and have like the beefiest thing in the world. But for us, I had to think about the budget, the fact that we may replace all of our Macs, or let's just say 90% of our Macs with PCs. So I have to be very conscious. That's 3 computers. So I need to be thoughtful. So we bought one, we customized it the way we want. I'll go over the specs here in just a second. Let's talk about the specs. So this machine, it has a Gigabyte Z390 DesignWare motherboard. It's using an Intel Core i9 9900K, 3.6 gigahertz, 8 core, whatever all that junk means. It's got 32 gigs of RAM. It's 2 16 sticks. It's got an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2070. I wanted a TI, but 1080 Ti, but they're actually kind of hard to come by, and they were price for price. I did a bunch of research and I didn't see that big of a difference. I'm not going to be doing any gaming, so the RTX part doesn't really matter. But I just figured down the road, one of the conversations I had with the guys over at Puget was that you never know. At some point, maybe one of these other programs will take advantage of the ray tracing and it could be super awesome. So I went ahead and got that. I didn't do anything fancy with the sound because we send our sound off to a sound mixer. And frankly, we mostly mix in stereo anyway. It has Wi-Fi, whatever. As far as storage goes, I put in I customized out a Samsung 860 512 SSD as the primary drive, as my operating drive, if you will. And then I went ahead and threw in a 2 terabyte drive just because I like to have a little onboard storage in case I need it. Doubt I will because we use mostly Firewire. What am I, dated? We use mostly Thunderbolt. I'm going to get to that in a second because there's very, very cool stuff with that. It's got a big, like super massive amounts of cooling fans, and that's why the case is so big, because it's like super cool. It's very quiet, by the way. It makes less sound than my Mac does. Certainly when the Mac decides to go to full throttle mode, this makes even less sound. So they kind of built it out that way. And yes, we are operating off of Windows 10 Pro. Now, what makes the process of purchasing or buying from them so dadgum fascinating is that throughout the entire build, they gave little statuses. So I talked to them on the phone. I got the system the way I wanted it. I paid. And what they do is they have a little like an onboarding scenario where you can see here, like, here's my order number. Here's the information they show you submitted by customer. They show the entire process along the way, the staging process, at which point they then shift to the assembly and installation. So you can see each one of these individuals is touching my machine. They have a face to the name. I feel like I'm working with real people. It's not a machine. This is being custom built for me. I feel like each one of these people are contributing their own, intelligence and skill set to it. So there we have the assemblies done. As you can see, we've gone to installation, and then Devin, my good man Devin, is doing some testing. It drops down again, and then Kyle gets on board, and Kyle gets into additional installation, does some more testing. And so now they do a second round of tests. And what's really crazy is they don't just give you tests. They give you like benchmarks for your actual machine. And so you can actually see your benchmarks, your machine, the way they tested it. I kind of wish they would have let me test it with footage, but I understand they have kind of a preset that they like to use, but it's very in depth. It's actually way more in depth than I thought. So finally we go through that, and then you go into the finished product. Quality control's there, everything's good. And if you look at the image, you see just there at the bottom, there's some photos, because once they build your system, they actually take photos of your system and upload it directly for you to look at. So you can kind of see what your new baby looks like. It's like getting a sonogram, not a mammogram, getting a sonogram and kind of seeing what your baby looks like, and it's a behemoth. I would feel bad if anyone had to birth this bad boy. Anyway, it's just the fact that the customer service aspect was so good and so easy and so delightful. It really made me excited, not just from the purchase side of it, because we all get a little bit of excitement when we purchase. But in this case, it made me excited because someone gave a shit. Someone gave a shit that I needed this machine, and they gave a shit enough to help me put it together. Now, the only downside of buying this custom box was it didn't come with a keyboard and mouse. So I bought some crappy LED light-up keyboard. It's not crappy, it's decent. But I bought a light-up keyboard, and I got some fancy gamer mouse. And then there's always this new challenge of Windows buttons, keyboard layout versus Mac. I actually like the Mac a lot better. I will give Mac that all the time. I feel like they just made things better for your fingers. Windows is, if you hunt and peck, I think Windows is a better system. Anyway, just little notes like that. So here's me again. All right, so on the top here, they've got nice instructions on how to unpack your system. There's cables. Some kind of weird floaty device. There's an actual bound manual that looks like someone actually put this together. It feels like we bought a computer from Apple 1.0. The packaging is luckily, not what you're paying for. Hold on, let me see how to actually turn your computer upside down. Okay, yes, all right. So you can see how big this is. There's a 2K sitting next to it. It's bigger than a 2K. And there is the Mac.
It's tiny.
It's tiny. We're going to definitely have to do a side-by-side on this. So now we do the old Windows boot up. It's been a long time since we went through this gobbledygook. The upside is of using this Windows PC is that the camera has now basically got its own tripod. So it's sitting up here on top of the box and it's really pretty much at head height. But yeah, we'll see how all of this goes. We tested this, we beta tested it. We talked about it in the live stream a little bit. We beta tested it with a rental from Best Buy, if you will. And we really like the results. Now this machine is way more optimized for video production. And the thing about Puget is they go through, or Puget, they go through and they build your system specifically for what you need it to be. So in this case, I got it built out for Premiere and then DaVinci on top of it. So here in a minute, we're going to test some footage and we'll see what it does. It'll be as real as we can make it because it's a live test. So let's get to it. All right, so obviously I've spent some time dealing with it, monkeying with it, playing with it. I did a little render. I did some render testing this video. That video only took about, I don't know, 15 to 20 seconds to render. Granted, that's faster than real time. It was really quick. Maybe that's wrong. It was about 30 seconds. It was real time, which we've never had encoding anything. Now that was ProRes footage. It was a transcodes of H.265 to ProRes and then wrapped to 264. So what took 30 seconds was the 264 side of the equation. But in more exciting news, the thing that I was most nervous about, we've got this beautiful machine, we're cranking away, we've tested it, but the bigger worry was most of our work, everything we have has been done on Apple formatted drives. And I got a little nervous, so I went through a crazy process to get it there. This computer, the new one, PC here, has a Thunderbolt 3 port on the back, and you can't just add Thunderbolt 3, by the way. It's got to be built into the motherboard. It's a whole thing. Trust me, I did my research, but it's got Thunderbolt 3. I got terrified that the adapters weren't going to work or whatever, so I didn't go with an Apple adapter. I went with one where other users, PC users, were talking about it worked for them, and I'm going to show that to you. But what's most exciting to me is what I've now officially been able to test and prove. I bought a $20 piece of software called HFS Plus for Windows, which allows me to read Mac drives, which then means I now have our G-RAID, a G-RAID I should say, connected to the PC. It's totally working. It's there. Now, I'll show you how I've done it. It's a little sketch. Yep. This little guy right here, this little fella, is a Thunderbolt 2 to Thunderbolt 3 adapter. And I went with this one. It's Velcro to the side. I went with this particular adapter because everyone said it worked really well, better than the Apple, and it's from Cable Matters. It was like 50 bucks. But as you can see, it's plugged straight in. There's no gimmicks going on here. It's straight truth. From that to the back of this, we follow the cord just in case there's naysayers, up to the device, and then around, and we're in it. Now up top here, I'm transferring footage back to the Apple up there, and that's that. Okay, so this is beyond exciting. It's super exciting. I am watching, oh, I can't figure out how to mute yet. Hold on. I am watching GH5 anamorphic footage playing back in real time at full resolution on my timeline. No hiccups, no stutters, everything's flawless. The next thing I'm going to do is just throw a little bit of grading on it. Just throw some Lumetri on it. We've downloaded DaVinci. We're going to try that as well, but thus far, I mean, it's like perfect. There's no lag. This is, for me, this is insane. We haven't had this in so long, and yet we still conquered. So the tools just make it easier, right? They don't change away they don't take away the art side of it, your craftsmanship, or craft personship, I should say. So I'm going to throw some LUTs on here, and then we'll show you what it looks like. Oh, let me show you it actually playing in real time. All right, so is this screen. So this first clip right here is 60 frames a second. I didn't do anything to it. I just threw it on the timeline. And then that's 60, that's 24. So check this out. I should probably, let's do that again. Let's do it with some sound. Okay, so here we go, and watch this. Watch my finger.
Yeah, that's pretty killer.
All right, so I'm going to play it one more time, and I'm just going to show you a couple of things real quick. Like, let me, yeah, I'll just let the audio play. All right, we're playing.
Nice, man. Yeah, that's pretty killer.
You guys have no idea. I don't even care about playing at full resolution. I'd have been happy at half res. I'm sick and tired of not being able to play back the way I wanted to. My Mac tower is just garbage water, especially for the GH5 footage. It does okay with red. But in this case, I'm playing back now. I'm playing full res with Lumetri on it, no problems. Here it is. I'm not going to cut, just so you can see. Like, here we go. Ready? Spinning it around. I have to adjust the focus, obviously. All right, so here we are. I'm sure it's going to look like crap on the camera, so I'll cut into the video so you can see it if you, for whatever reason. But same thing.
Nice, man. Yeah, that's pretty killer.
All right, and so I can show this that it does in fact have it. You can see the mouse right here. I'm going to click on this guy, and you can see what popped up. You can see the Lumetri is right there, right? See that? All right, so obviously I'm geeking out a bit. That makes me very, very, very happy. And again, this is a machine from Puget Systems. They did not pay me for this video. They're not sponsoring this video. I'm just showing you guys straight up truth. My Mac could have never done any of those bits. In fact, I'm going to try and, I've saved these files, so I'm going to take these and then load them onto my Mac and look at playback there, just to make sure, to be fair about it. I am dealing with a 2013, late 2013 trash can. It's got 32 gigs of RAM. And that's it, because I can't hook up anything else to it. I can't add a graphics card aside from the AMDs that are inside of it, which is, again, why I'm really mad and tired of Mac. I don't use Final Cut, nothing wrong with it, just not what I like. I like Premiere, and so this Windows base using the CUDA stuff, it's just sick. So let's look at the Mac side of things with that same video, or this video, and see how it plays. Maybe it'll play great, and I'm just an idiot. All right, stand by. The Mac Premiere project is open. I forgot to mute the music over. That's the only... Windows makes a lot of sounds. I will say that. Kind of annoying. I forgot to move it over, but I just opened up, so I'm going to literally spin the camera around and play it back. I'm going to change the resolution to full. I'll show you guys all that so you can see it. Here we go. All right. So there's the mouse. You see it here. I'm going to quarter. I'm going to go to full. I'm going to bring it over. There it is. Let's hit the space bar and see what happens. It's playing back. I don't have the music on. So there we go. This time it's working. Oh, or Or is it working? Can you guys see that stutter?
Yeah, that's pretty killer.
It's not killer, Jeff. It's not killer. Let's try it one more time. You notice the lag on the home. Let's play it again. So these are the 60 frames a second shots. Seems to be playing pretty good. Everything's holding up. And then it looks like when it hits this third clip, it just can't handle it. So what you can do is stop it and then start it and it'll play back fine, right? But that's what I wanted to avoid at full res. Now let's take it down just for fun to half res and see if that makes a difference. There we go. So at half res, I can play it back perfectly fine in this case. So that's a plus. It's not terrible.
Yeah, that's pretty killer.
So you're probably saying, let's flip the camera. You're probably asking yourself why I give a shit about it actually playing back in full res. Well, because if you saw, once you start stacking a lot of clips, after a while, that's when we started getting in the issue. That's when it started really crashing down fairly hard on us. We just ran into like playback problems. So if we're doing a long form project that has hundreds of cuts in it, then it just doesn't play. It'll play for a little bit and then stop. So I can never really feel the vibe that I'm after. The fact that that worked so well was pretty incredible. So next, let's do a quick render test and see how long it takes to render it. And I'll hit the export button. It's 24 seconds. So I totally forgot on The Office that they end up in an office that's very tiny with a bathroom in it.
Yeah.
Is that why Sarah put that quote out there? Because that's exactly the scene as the Wayne Gretzky. Go, same exact settings, and here we go. Dunzos. Pretty good. All right, that's it. That's kind of the starting platform. Now, again, I think we're going to try and update this as much as we can and add more content as we go through on this process from making this migration from Mac to PC. If you're like us, you may have been with Mac for a number of years. I mean, I'm probably 15 years. I've been with Apple and worked solely on Apple. And this is a pretty big leap, so it's a little bit different. And this isn't necessarily the most popular topic in the world, but I think it's a really important topic. If you're a filmmaker or an editor or a content creator, your time's really valuable. It's how you make your money. So your skill set and your time are dollar signs. I just want to maximize that as much as possible for myself, for my crew, for everybody involved. So we'll probably have more of these as we go along. And again, I thank you for watching this extremely long video. It's pretty insane. The results we're getting just right out of the box. Again, shout out to Puget Systems. They did not sponsor this video. I wish they would, but I would love to send business their way because it's an absolutely amazing experience. And in turn, thus far, this box is incredible. I can't wait to hook up the rest of the raids to see what all we can do with it. That's it. See you guys later.